But right now, next to me, I have Angelo Santabarbara, and next to him, I have Dante Gallucci, and we'll be talking with both of these gentlemen. Angelo, good to see you.
Great to be back on the show.
I know, it's great to see you. And Dante, it's so nice to meet you today. And you brought your mom, how nice. And she's here as well. Angelo, how did you meet this gentleman?
Well, I know the Gallucci family from the town of Rotterdam, actually,
Okay.
and we began working with Dante on some projects because he's going to tell you about some of the struggles and challenges that he's been through, and it was a great chance for me to partner up and accomplish some great things for some groups doing some great things. And Dante will fill in on his personal experience on some of the things he's had to overcome. And he's a Chalmont student, and I'm a Chalmont alum.
And my kids went to Chalmont.
Yeah. So, and my kids, my daughters, Mariana's going to Chalmont. So I always love to go back there and find out what's going on. And I heard about Dante's story. And it's something that I had to get involved with, and it's been a great partnership, and we've been able to accomplish a lot of great things. He's got a great family, and as you said, his mother's here with him. His family's always with him because he has such great support from his family.
Absolutely. Let's, well, first of all, before we get into Dante's story, which I want to do immediately, but first, what are you up to in the state? Because I know you're doing something with the youth and a number of things.
And that's part of what we're going to talk about, with people like Dante. Education has been a big issue, actually, for several years now. Public education has been on our list of things to try and solve some issues. And one of the things I've done is kind of think outside the box a little bit and get people like Dante and students involved. And what we created, I think we talked about this on the show last time I was here, is what's called the concept of a student cabinet. So bringing students in, we hear from teachers, we hear from parents, we hear from all sorts of people, administrators, but we want to hear what the students have to say.
Let's hear from the participants.
Yeah, so we're making decisions on education, and and I kind of thought about, I always talk to my daughter a little bit. Hey, how was school today?
Mariana.
Yeah, Mariana. So, and she's been on the show before, and what was good, what was bad, and sort of download a little bit. And I thought,
we're not going into Common Core, are we?
No, we don't have to talk about.
Because I could talk about that.
We'll just talk about the general concept here of getting some feedback from the people going through it, from a firsthand experience. What's it like being in the classroom? Last year compared to this year, is it better? Is it worse? So I thought of this idea of bringing some students up to the Capitol, putting them in our seats, and let's hear what they have to say. Let's get the experts up there. And last year we talked about budget issues. This is the second year we're doing this, and it's sort of grown a little bit. And we bring in students from across the entire district, 10 school districts, bring in students that volunteer to be on this student cabinet, and we let them hear from the experts that we hear from, and then get some feedback, come up with some ideas, get together with some work groups.
Kids have a lot to say, don't they?
They really do.
I mean, really intelligent.
They're seeing it from a different perspective. So they're not the teacher, they're not running the school, but they're going through the experience. And and I think back on my experience going through school, and I kind of compare notes on how it's different now compared to then. And you hear a fresh perspective, and you get some good ideas out of it too.
And times are changing.
Yeah, times are changing. Times are changing.
Technology is changing. There's so many changes.
Yeah, exactly. And this is sort of a new way of thinking because students. You're right. Technology. My daughter knows how to do some things that she's great with the touch screen, the iPads. All these technology is changing, and the kids are going.
They learn it, right?
They're going to be better at it at some point than we are because they're learning it. They're going through it. They're thinking of these ideas.
Yeah.
So you really need to have that feedback, and that's how you're going to build a better educational experience. And this year was a complete success. Dante was part of that group. We brought them up, and we went through the whole experience of, I'm gonna get out of the chair. You're gonna sit in the chair, and you're gonna run it. We had.
You'll find out what some of the challenges are. Maybe.
Yeah. So we went through a couple of different exercises. We talked about some of the issues. We talked about some of the teacher evaluation going on. We talked about testing, and hear their thoughts on how we can make it better. And they had some great ideas. And some of those things we're going to. We collected all the information, and good legislation comes from hearing from people that have good ideas, and you want to hear from all parts of the community.
And acting on that.
And acting on it. Exactly.
I mean, because we can get all the input we want. If it goes in file 13, it's not going to
And that's what the student concept, cabinet concept is all about. We're going to continue it into next year, and we're going to report back on progress. And the teachers that showed up with the students, they absolutely love it. They're totally on board. We're continuing this.
And I can see Dante nodding his head. He loves it.
And as part of that, and eventually these students will graduate. But I'm encouraging them, and that's why I'm here on the show, to get other students involved. And it accomplishes a couple of things. They also get to learn about government, learn how we operate up there, learn some of the things.
Hopefully.
And then in government class, you're in the classroom, but now you're up at the Capitol. You're where it's all happening.
You bring it right to home.
Yeah. So people watching at home, if you think you have a student that might want to be involved, contact my office. Have them come to the next.
You have 3 offices, so they're going to find you somewhere.
Yep, Amsterdam, Albany, and right here across the street in Schenectady.
Okay. Now Dante, we're going to bring you in now.
All right.
Because you have an incredible story. Do you want to share some of that story with us and explain how that got you motivated to doing a number of remarkable things?
Mm-hmm. Well, before I got diagnosed, I know my family was still always wanted to help out and stuff. We always went to the Ronald McDonald House. And actually, without even knowing, a month before I got diagnosed, I went to go help the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, which is it's like a giant organization. They raise money for kids with cancer.
It's a remarkable organization.
Yep. And so I went there and helped out, and not knowing, a month later I got diagnosed with the same disease I was helping to fight. Yep.
Wow.
So I went through 2.5 years so far of chemo, pretty intense chemo. Been through some tough times, but I'm still going, and I still have chemo until the end of October. So.
And so this is, how long have you been, you have a lymphoma, is that correct? How long?
I've been in remission now for about 2.5 years.
Yeah, and it does go into remission.
Yep, so I went in within the first 30 days.
You hope that it's a long remission.
Yeah.
And so you have been involved in a lot of things, and perhaps you and Angelo have worked together, but I know that you've done something with the Harlem Globetrotters. You've done, just tell us about some of the ways that you are trying to raise money and raise awareness.
Yeah. All right. Well, last year I had my Make-A-Wish, which is to go to Italy and visit my foreign exchange student that we had the year before. So.
But you just didn't do that.
Yeah. We thought that we should give back because it was a pretty expensive wish, not like any other kids usually get. So we put a game together with the Harlem Wizards, which is like it's like the Harlem Globetrotters for charities.
Yeah.
They kind of come and put on a show, and so we actually had a really good turnout. Raised $20,000 for Make-A-Wish, and
that paid for your trip.
Yep, paid for my trip plus more. So yeah, it was a good time.
And what was the experience like to take that trip?
It was really nice. I always say this, but I felt like it was multiple wishes inside one, because I went there and I just did a whole bunch of things that I never thought I would be able to, that I feel should have counted as one wish individually. But it was a great time, and anything I said, they never flinched at. They always did it right away.
Now, did you visit family there?
I
or
did.
Do you have family there?
Yeah, we do. We have family in Chicano, and we actually did get to visit them for a day, spend a really nice time. It was really nice meeting them for the first time. So.
And they let you go?
Yeah.
Because, it's very tough. When we went, we had to stay a week.
Yeah, I know.
We could not
they wanted us to stay.
Could not leave.
Yeah.
Stay. Mm-hmm. So it's really a great experience then for you to do that, which is something kids your age probably rarely get to do, is to do something like that. What projects do you have coming up?
All right. Well, we're working with one of my nurses is big on CrossFit. He loves that.
What is CrossFit? I saw that.
All right. Well, it's kind of like lifting, but it's like intensive lifting, like fast reps. Multiple reps. And my nurse Matt goes around and does competitions and stuff. So he's having a kind of CrossFit event called the CrossFit Shatter. And he's doing that to benefit Maddie's Mark, which is another great cancer organization. She lost her daughter when they were younger, so she tries to put on this best day ever for a lot of kids. So, that's one of the events we have coming up. And then we have another golfing event coming up to benefit Melody Center, and that's really nice. That was put together by a kid who had cancer and survived, and he's doing actually really well now.
And so it's giving back, always giving back.
Yep.
how do your classmates relate to all of this? I imagine they're just in awe for what you do.
Yeah, my classmates are actually really good about it. You know, they always come to my events, always help out whenever I ask them to do something. Like when I was running for Man of the Year, they all came in, helped.
Man of the Year, now
multiple
that is
events.
really nice, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah,
And they
always
came to
help.
support you for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And now I don't think we might have talked this before the show, but you are really an athlete. And
Yep.
how did that impact on you?
You know, it was really hard when I first got diagnosed, hearing that I might never play sports again. You know, that was something that went through my head a lot. While my nurses came in, I would get chemo every day, thinking I might never play sports again, because that was.
What sports did you play?
Well, I did track, so I did shot put and discus. Then I played football and basketball.
Wow.
So that was hard.
And are you able to do that now?
I am now. I'm back playing football and basketball. Not so much track anymore, but yep, I'm back playing football
Well,
and
could
basketball.
you probably the
Yeah.
lungs,
Yeah.
doing really lengthy thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so now, what projects are you involved with him now?
Well, I played in his basketball,
Yeah,
basketball.
both basketball
tournaments.
games, yeah.
You're a basketball
I
player?
won't say if I made any shots or anything. So I tried to play. So, but we've been supportive in playing. You know, being a part of his events,
Sure.
helping promote the events, and I think he flashed up some pictures. He came up to the Capitol. We had him on our radio television show there to kind of talk about his experience and talk to people that maybe don't know. But it's the whole concept of giving back. Which I think is unique about Dante and his family, is that they don't stop. It's like, and after this, you're going to see something else. I mean, they're going to continue to, they made a commitment that they're going to get through this together, and they're also going to give back, and they're going to let people know their stories so they can understand what they went through and what other people are going through.
Yeah, and I was going to say, because this is very inspirational, because many times when you hear of some sort of adversity like this, you find out you get a diagnosis. Sometimes people just want to give up, and they just they succumb to it and become part of the illness. And what you have done is you've raised yourself above the illness to create a new Dante. And you've seen this happen.
Yeah, and the sports is one thing, but also, keep in mind he's still in school. Got the academic part. He's part of the
Still
student
taking those
cabinet.
tests.
Yeah, he's still taking tests. He's doing so much, and then he he's dealing with other things that other students are not dealing with. So it's really quite an accomplishment to be able to get through all this, and then raise the bar and accomplish so much in the meantime. And at the last game, he actually was. The first game he wasn't able to play, but the last fundraiser, he actually came out on the court and was able to make a few baskets. Made a few baskets.
Good.
So it was nice to see him, the recovery efforts.
We wish you the best, Dante. And the challenges that you're facing, it's tough enough to face them, when you're 40, 50, but as a young man, when you realize you have your whole life ahead of you, these things can be really kind of frightening, but you're able to handle this. You have a wonderful supporting family, Terry out there, and to have Angelo on your team as well. People will rally around you, and they will do all they can to support your efforts to raise money. And the Melodies of Christmas, of course, they do their big thing for the children's. Do they call it the Children's Hospital anymore? Or the Melodies
Bernard
Center?
and Melly Duker Children's Hospital.
Yeah, they've got a couple of names in there.
Yeah.
But they certainly, maybe we'll see you on the stage singing at the next Melody. Who knows? Right. Thank you both for being here today.
It's great to be on your show.
It's always good to see you both. Is there anything we missed, Angelo? You're doing something with the animals, aren't you?
Well, we did.
We did.
I do want to put a plug in for the Leukemia Lymphoma Society as well.
Do it.
If people are looking for some place to do some charitable donating, the Melody Center, of course, is another great place. I've toured that as well. The Ronald McDonald House. All these organizations that we mentioned are doing great things. They're making a difference in people's lives. So if someone wants to volunteer or make a charitable donation, those are great opportunities to help a lot of people. Well, the Animal Advocacy Day we did do, but we'll talk about that another
good.
show.
Yeah, I noticed that you did something with that. Anybody that does anything for animals is dear to my heart. So we want to thank our Assemblyman from the 111th District, Angelo Santabarbara, and a young gentleman who is doing so much. He's really taken the walk to promote awareness of Leukemia and Lymphoma, Dante Gallucci. Thank you so much for being here. It's
Thank you
an
for
honor to
having me.
meet you. It really is, and I'm
Thank
so
you.
pleased that you're here. We're going to take a quick break, and our break will be Earth Uncovered, I believe it's called, at my size. Stay tuned.
Education has been a big issue. Actually, for several years now, public education has been on our list of things to try and solve some issues. And one of the things I've done is kind of think outside the box a little bit and get people like Dante and students involved. And what we created, I think we talked about this on the show last time I was here, is what's called the concept of a student cabinet. So bringing students in, we hear from teachers, we hear from parents, we hear from all sorts of people, administrators, and it's something that I had to get involved with, and it's been a great partnership, and we've been able to accomplish a lot of great things. He's got a great family, and as you said, his mother's here with him. His family is always with him because he has such great support from his family.
Absolutely. Well, first of all, before we get into Dante's story, which I want to do immediately, but first, what are you up to in the state? Because I know you're doing something with the youth and a number of things.
And that's part of what we're going to talk about, with people like Dante.
But right now, next to me, I have Angelo Santabarbara, and next to him, I have Dante Gallucci, and we'll be talking with both of these gentlemen. Angelo, good to see you.
Great to be back in the show.
I know, it's great to see you. And Dante, it's so nice to meet you today.
To meet
and
you.
You brought your mom, how nice
Yeah.
that she's here as well. Angelo, how did you meet this gentleman?
Well, I know the Gallucci family from the town of Rotterdam, actually,
Okay.
and we began working with Dante on some projects because he's going to tell you about some of the struggles and challenges that he's been through, and it was a great chance for me to partner up and accomplish some great things for some groups doing some great things. And Dante will fill in on his personal experience on some of the things he's had to overcome. And he's a Chalmont student, and I'm a Chalmont alum.
And my kids went to Chalmont.
Yeah. So, and my kids, my daughters, Mariana's going to Chalmont. So I always love to go back there and find out what's going on. And I heard about Dante's story. But we want to hear what the students have to say.
Let's hear from the participants.
Yeah, so we're making decisions on education, and I kind of thought about, I always talk to my daughter a little bit. Hey, how was school today?
Mariana?
Yeah, Mariana. So, and she's been on the show before, and what was good, what was bad, and sort of download a little bit. And I thought,
We're not going into Common Core, are we?
No, we don't have to talk about.
Because I could talk about that.
We'll just talk about the general concept here of getting some feedback